perfect for you. Ah, she's like singing out of my soul. Sometimes we get lost in our own little world, but it's all so much bigger than we realize. All right, guys, we're listening to the full album, Led Zeppelin, for the 1971 version. But the remastered one, I'm listening to the album in full, breaking it apart into videos, though, for copyright reasons to make sure we don't get blocked. So, enjoy it. I got my little Theraflu daytime over here because I'm under the weather. I got my homemade banana pudding, and I'm just on this ride. So, what do I need to know about Led Zeppelin? I'm on this journey exploring their music, mind blown by their compositions, by the groove, the funk, the rock and roll, legends. And yeah, turns out it wasn't any hype at all. That was what I started with on my journey. Is it all just hype? Turns out it is not. Led Zeppelin is amazing. And yes, I know there are theories out there or claims and accusations that they stole music or they took or copied and stuff. And I don't know enough about that yet, so feel free to educate me on that. But I do see in the music industry that that's a reoccurring struggle, I suppose. One group accusing the other of copying or thieving, new word, stealing something. But I guess with music, it's always tricky because there's only so many notes and only so many chord progressions. And so sometimes naturally, especially in a certain era, things will sound similar. So I don't know. What are your thoughts on all that? Let's keep listening. Now, next, we're listening to the Battle of Evermore. Also, right when we were listening to rock and roll, Black Dog was really hype. Rock and roll was really hype. My thought was, do they do any slow songs? Is anything ever slow? So I was wondering that, and it turns out this may be. I'm already hearing a different vibe from the start. The instrumentation, softer, calmer. What am I hearing here? What instrument is that? Almost has a little bit of a medieval type of sound. This feels calmer. Maybe this is the one song that is kind of more chill.
The Queen of Light took her bow, and then she turned to gold. The Prince of Peace embraced the gloom and walked the night alone. Dancing in the dark of night, seem to him more. The Dark Lord rides in force tonight, and time will tell us all. Throw down your blindfold, rest not to lock your home. Side by side, we wait the night of the darkest all
Robert is nuts. Robert Plant is nuts on the vocals. His vocal range is phenomenal. And earlier, I just want to go back real quick. Earlier when I was listening to rock and roll and it was heavy on the drums, the drums started. John Bonham is amazing. The time signatures, that precision. I love how that every song has a little bit of a different vibe right now. And when it comes to listening to a full album, I'm loving that.
I hear the forest's thunder down in the valley below. I'm waiting for the angels of Babylon, waiting for the eastern glow. The apples of the valley, oh, the seeds of happiness. Ground is rich from tender care, repay, do not forget. No, no, dance in the dark night, listen to the morning light. Apples turn to brown and black, the tyrant's face is red. War is the common cry, pick up your swords and the sky is filled with good and bad, mortals never know. Oh well, the night is long, the beats of time pass slow. Tired eyes on the sunrise, waiting for the eastern glow. The pain of war cannot exceed the woe of aftermath. The drums will shake, the castle wall, the ring razor iron black. Ride on, raise your right on, shoot straight to the before. No comfort here, the fire at night, the lights of face so cold. Dance in the dark of night, sing till the morning light. Red and gold to bring the balance back, bring it back. At last the sun is shining, the clouds are blue or white. With flames from the dragon of darkness, the sunlight blinds his
Dude, this one is deeper than I expected. And the funny thing is, like I said earlier, during rock and roll, I thought, I wonder if all their songs are so upbeat. And sure enough, the next one was calmer. But then I'm listening, I'm like, okay, this is just kind of like your medieval times song, right? The themes of knights and the Queen of Light and that type of thematic, right? But then I'm listening and I'm going, wait a minute, he sang of, and very poetic, right? The colors of what did it say? With the apples and where is it? Give me just a second, Jim. Apples turning to brown and black, the tyrant's face is red. And then I looked up, the Avalon is this mystical place where people think, or this mystical place of where King Arthur was laid to rest. So it's said to be his final resting place. But also the name Avalon is a Welsh girl's name that can translate to Island of Apples. So interesting to talk in the lyrics about the apples turning brown and the what turned red? The tyrant's face turning red. And I'm like, okay, so there's a lot of poetic interpretation there, right? Avalon, King Arthur, these medieval times and these legends, right? Apple, the name, the meaning. But then it spoke of ring wraiths. And I'm like, wait a minute. I'm just right now watching The Lord of the Rings again. And so that was fresh on my mind. And I looked it up. And ring wraiths are these Nazgul, right? These dark creatures of death, neither dead nor alive. And it turns out that those books were already written back in between 37 and 49. So when this album came out, the Lord of the Rings novels by J.R.R. Tolkien had already been released. Is this a song that is supposed to be a tie to these novels and to these legends? But the lyrics speak of basically that whole theme. And now looking at it through the Lord of the Rings lens, I'm like, this is so fitting. The Queen of Light took her bow, then she turned to go, right? So parallels maybe to these elvish kings and queens, to light leaving and darkness coming, and this fight between dark and light. The Prince of Peace embraced the gloom. What is this? This the gloom of the ring, that burden that needs to be carried. Oh, walked the night alone, that lonely path of trying to fight darkness, trying to be a Prince of Peace, fighting the darkness and the gloom. And the dance in the dark of night, sing to the morning light. Dark Lord rides in force tonight. A lot of beautiful mythology and poetry here. The horses thunder down in the valley below, waiting for the angels of Avalon, right? And then talking about the apples and happiness. And then also to think that Avalon is also looked at as a place of the King Arthur's brought to Avalon to heal after the Battle of Camlan, and is said to be a place of magic, healing, and eternal youth. So all of that possible interpretation to then end with the words, bring it back, right? If we think of youth, that is something many people try to bring back and gain back. So there was different ways that I could interpret that. Maybe I'm missing it completely, but I just, as I'm listening, realizing this is actually way deeper than I expected. This is beautiful and very poetic and calmer and very different instrumentation, still those strong vocals and that echo and that loop, bring it back in the end. But neat. It's just very diverse, the whole album. It's really not the same thing on and on. It's crazy. It's amazing. The next song on the album, Led Zeppelin 4, the remastered version from 1971, is Stairway to Heaven. I'm not going to listen to it because I already did a full video on it, so go check that out, and I'll try to tag it in here as well. But we're going to listen to the next one, Misty Mountain Hop. And now that I'm reading this name, I'm thinking, wait a minute. Did they read the novels, The Lord of the Rings? Were they immersed into that strongly? Are they trying to bring parallels here?